Parenting is one of the toughest jobs in the world, and yet, it's something many people feel they're not prepared for. Did you know that 1 in 3 parents say they feel overwhelmed by the responsibility of raising kids? Or that nearly 60% of parents regret some of their parenting choices? These stats show that even the best intentions can sometimes go wrong. In this video, we'll uncover 2 major reasons why many people end up being bad parents, not because they don't care, but because they make certain mistakes without even realizing it. You might think you're doing everything right, but there are hidden traps that can lead to burnout, frustration, and a strained relationship with your kids. Stick around as we break down the hidden causes behind these struggles and give you practical strategies to break free from them. By the end, you'll have a new perspective on how to raise healthier, happier children and feel more confident as a parent. Get ready to dive deep into what really causes parenting to go wrong, and how you can avoid it. Chapter 1. The Silent Killer. Unchecked expectations. Parenting expectations can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, they drive us to be the best parents we can be. But on the other hand, unrealistic expectations can hurt both us and our kids. In fact, studies show that 85% of new parents feel overwhelmed by the pressure to be perfect. This isn't surprising given how social media often shows only the shiny, happy moments of parenthood. But the reality? It's messy. When we expect everything to go smoothly, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The truth is, no parent has it all figured out. No matter how prepared you feel, life with kids often throws curveballs. Unrealistic expectations can lead to frustration, burnout, and feeling like a failure. And when parents feel like failures, it affects their behavior and emotional connection with their kids. The key here is to embrace imperfection. Perfection is the enemy of good parenting, says parenting expert Dr. John Gottman. Allowing yourself to be imperfect frees you to be more authentic with your children. Instead of focusing on perfect moments, focus on being present. Take a breath and let go of the need to control every situation. Parents should also remember that every child is different. Your child isn't the same as the one on Instagram, and that's okay. Take the time to get to know your child's unique needs. This doesn't mean lowering your standards, but rather adjusting your expectations to fit the reality of your child's temperament and your life circumstances. A good way to reframe this is by setting small, achievable goals. Rather than expecting your kids to behave perfectly all day, focus on one moment at a time. Parenting is less about hitting milestones and more about navigating the ups and downs with grace. This shift can relieve stress and help you build a more authentic relationship with your children. Chapter 2. The Overload Effect. Too much information, not enough action. In today's digital world, there's no shortage of parenting advice. Whether it's books, blogs, podcasts, or Instagram influencers, we're bombarded with tips and tricks every day. But here's the problem: more information doesn't always lead to better parenting. In fact, 70% of parents report feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of advice they receive. This overload of information can lead to paralysis. Instead of feeling empowered, many parents become confused about what to do. Should they follow the advice from their pediatrician? Or the latest parenting book? Or perhaps the social media influencer with millions of followers? The result is often a lack of decisive action. A key strategy to avoid this is to filter out what works for you. Not every piece of advice will fit your family's needs. Focus on the core principles that align with your values and the way your child learns and grows. Parenting isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. The book The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz highlights how too many choices can leave us feeling less satisfied and more anxious. Take a deep breath and trust your instincts. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, but the most important thing is consistency. If you find something that works, stick with it. The best advice often comes down to basic principles, like showing love, setting boundaries, and teaching respect. You don't need 100 different methods to be a great parent. Sometimes, less is more. Instead of trying to implement every new tip you read about, focus on the few strategies that make a real difference. Prioritize quality over quantity. Whether it's spending quality time with your child or offering praise for small accomplishments, keep things simple and effective. By narrowing your focus, you'll be able to make better decisions and create a more positive environment at home. This will ultimately lead to a stronger bond with your children and better results in the long run. Chapter 3. Lost in the Chaos, Parenting Without Purpose. Parenting without purpose is like driving without a map. You might get from point A to point B, but you're not sure how you got there. Many parents fall into this trap, simply reacting to each day's chaos without a clear sense of direction. In fact, studies have found that over 60% of parents admit they feel out of control or unsure of their parenting direction at some point. The truth is, routines are important. But routines without purpose can feel empty and exhausting. When parents lose sight of their bigger goals, they can become bogged down in managing the minutiae of daily life. From morning routines to after-school activities, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle without thinking about the bigger picture. A purposeful approach to parenting means focusing on what truly matters: connection, emotional support, and teaching important life skills. Children don't need perfect parents. They need engaged parents, says Dr. Laura Markham, a psychologist and parenting expert. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. One strategy for becoming more purposeful is to set specific goals for your family. What values do you want to instill in your children? Do you want them to be kind, resilient, or curious? Setting these goals gives your parenting a sense of direction. When you know what you're working toward, it becomes easier to make decisions and stay focused on the things that matter most. Another way to add purpose to your parenting is to create rituals. These don't have to be complicated. Simple things like having a weekly family dinner or bedtime storytelling can create meaningful moments. These rituals help children feel safe and loved, and they give parents the opportunity to teach values in a relaxed setting. Parenting with purpose doesn't mean every moment needs to be planned or perfect. It simply means you're putting thought into how you raise your children, making sure your actions align with your values. And this approach doesn't just benefit your children, it will also make you feel more fulfilled and less stressed in the long run. If you're finding this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the next chapters that will change the way you think about parenting. Chapter 4. The do-it-yourself trap. Why ignoring help is a mistake. Parenting is tough, and it's easy to fall into the mindset that you have to do it all alone. However, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a strategy for long-term success. In fact, studies show that parents who build a strong support network are 50% more likely to feel confident in their parenting. This network can be made up of family, friends, or even professionals like therapists or parenting coaches. When parents try to handle everything on their own, they can quickly burn out. There's a reason that the phrase, "it takes a village," has stuck around for generations. Raising children requires more than one person. Without a support system, parents are more likely to experience stress, fatigue, and frustration. One of the most important strategies is to build a strong support network. It doesn't matter if it's your extended family, trusted friends, or even online communities. You need people who understand your struggles and can offer advice, encouragement, or just a helping hand. Research shows that the more social support parents have, the less likely they are to feel overwhelmed and anxious. Sometimes, seeking help can be as simple as asking a relative to watch the kids for an hour, or connecting with other parents who are going through similar experiences. Don't hesitate to attend parenting workshops or join local parenting groups. Building your support system is a long-term investment in your well-being and your children's happiness. Another strategy is to get professional help when needed. If you're struggling with things like discipline, communication, or mental health, there's no shame in seeking the guidance of a therapist or counselor. Professionals can offer expert advice that's tailored to your family's unique needs. In fact, studies show that families who seek therapy report stronger relationships and better communication. Remember, it's okay to not have all the answers. No one expects you to be perfect. By reaching out for help, you not only reduce your stress but also show your children the importance of asking for support when they need it. Chapter 5. Emotional baggage. Parenting while carrying your own wounds. It's easy to overlook how our past experiences shape the way we parent, but emotional baggage can play a huge role in our relationships with our children. Parents who haven't dealt with their own trauma may find themselves repeating the same unhealthy patterns. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, unresolved childhood trauma can affect a parent's emotional regulation, leading to more frequent outbursts or less empathy toward their children. When parents haven't healed from past wounds, they may unknowingly pass on unhealthy behaviors to their kids. This could include overreacting to minor issues, being overly controlling, or neglecting emotional needs. The cycle continues unless parents consciously work to break it. One powerful strategy to change this cycle is self-awareness. Take the time to reflect on your own childhood experiences and how they might be affecting your parenting. Are there unresolved issues that might cause you to react strongly to certain situations? Journaling or talking with a therapist can help you unpack these emotions and find healthier ways to cope. Another key strategy is emotional regulation. Parents who struggle with their emotions might find it difficult to stay calm during challenging situations. By learning techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or taking a break when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can model emotional regulation for your children. Therapy is often the best route for parents with deep emotional wounds. According to Dr. Daniel Siegel, a renowned neuropsychiatrist, the parent-child relationship is the single most important factor in a child's mental health development. By healing yourself, you create the space to nurture your child's emotional growth. Finally, practicing empathy is crucial. Instead of reacting out of anger or frustration, try to put yourself in your child's shoes. It's not always easy, but the more you practice understanding, the more connected you will feel to your child, and the healthier your relationship will be. Chapter 6. Mindless role-playing, parenting out of habit, not heart. It's easy to fall into the trap of mindlessly going through the motions of parenting. The daily routine can become so automatic that you start parenting by habit rather than by intention. In fact, a survey by the National Parenting Association found that 40% of parents report feeling on autopilot when it comes to managing their daily family life. When parents rely on habitual behavior, they may not give enough thought to the values and lessons they want to instill in their children. This can lead to emotional distance and missed opportunities for meaningful connections. Instead of reacting to each situation thoughtfully, parents may find themselves simply reacting out of routine. The first step to breaking out of this habit is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness in parenting means being present and fully engaged with your child, rather than letting your mind wander. Studies show that when parents practice mindfulness, they are better at managing their emotions, reducing stress, and being more patient with their children. Another strategy is to set clear intentions. Every day, think about what you want to teach your child. Is it kindness? Respect? Responsibility? Focusing on these core values gives your parenting direction and purpose. The more you're intentional about your actions, the more likely you are to create the environment that encourages those qualities. You can also build in moments of connection throughout the day. This doesn't mean making every second meaningful. Parenting isn't about perfection. But small gestures, like taking a moment to genuinely ask your child how their day was or offering a hug before bedtime, can make a huge difference in how connected you feel. It's also helpful to break out of your parenting routine now and then. Try new activities with your child, change up your usual routine, and surprise them with fun experiences. These moments of spontaneity can create lasting memories and reinforce your connection with your child. Lastly, remember that being an intentional parent doesn't mean being a perfect parent. It's about being present, thoughtful, and connected. By breaking out of autopilot mode and parenting with heart, you'll find that the relationship you build with your child will be deeper, stronger, and more fulfilling for both of you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more parenting tips and strategies that can make all the difference.